sides and loved ones on the other side. Um, People always ask me why I don't call myself a psychic. Really, it comes down to I hate that name. I hate that term. I think there's too much negative connotation with it. So I call myself a channeler. And really, that's what I do. I channel messages from your spirit guides and
Okay.
loved ones that have crossed over already. Gone home. That's home, by the way. Home is the other side. We come to visit here. We live over there. Spirit guides. What are they? They are souls. We are a soul. Our soul embodies our bodies embodies our soul. So when we take our last breath on Earth, our soul returns to the other side. We have a spirit family on the other side, and members of that spirit families agreed to be your guide while you're here on Earth to try to give you guidance. 99.9% of the times we don't listen because we get that, you get that intuition. You're hanging out with your buddies and you get that, I know I shouldn't do this. This is not going to turn out good. I just feel it. I feel it in my bones. This isn't going to turn out good. But screw it, let's do it anyways. And then afterwards, you're like, I knew we shouldn't have done that. I told you we shouldn't have done that. That's usually your spirit guides trying to guide you. In any given chapter of your life, you can have 3 to 5 guides. Really depends what's happening in your life. Having 5 doesn't mean you're a more special soul than someone. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Kevali Channeling Presents for August 29th. Holy. Where has summer gone? It seems like it was just May, and all of a sudden we're at the end of August, and the days are getting shorter. I know here in Alberta, it's getting dark about 9 o'clock, which normally it's 10:30. So definitely getting darker. Days are getting shorter. Tomorrow, I believe tomorrow is the second full moon of August, the blue moon. Going to be lots of cool energy floating around. Get prepared for it, people. Don't freak out. You're not losing it. It's just the energy. We'll get through it like we have every other full moon. I always get a kick out of people who get all excited about full moons. Does it affect people? Hell yeah. Go sit in an emergency room on any full moon and ask any of the doctors or any of the nurses that work in a emergency department, and they will tell you that it definitely affects everything. So it definitely does. Today, as it says on the screen here, we have a very good friend of mine, Lynette Waltham. I've been saying her name wrong for the last year and a bit because I said Waltham and it's Waltham. It's very English, apparently. She owns the Collective of Community Wellness, a cool business in, I'm going to say central Alberta. She's probably going to correct me. It's probably not central. It's more probably eastern Alberta. It's hard to say. She's built it from scratch and she's doing extremely well. And I look forward to having a chat with her tonight. Before we do that, if you want to get a hold of me, if you want to book a session with me, where do you go? You go to Kevali Channeling on Facebook. Click the book now, and we will get a session booked. I know the times are all messed up right now. Every life is just crazy for me. So book a time that's convenient to you, and then we'll work it from there. So without further ado, there you go, Ellison. I said I do because I usually say to do, and she goes, it's I do. And I'm like, yeah, okay. Let's click this magic button, and boom, Miss Lynette shows up on the screen. How are you?
I am so good. How are you?
I am good. Now, where are you? Remind me where your business is.
You were right. I'm in central, and east. So east central Alberta in Coronation.
Coronation. I could not grab that word out of my brain. I knew it, but I was like, nah, it's not coming. So I wasn't even going to try. For some reason, I kept wanting to go to Didsbury, and I'm like, I know it's not Didsbury.
No. Coronation, yeah.
Coronation, Alberta. Yeah, so that is central. East central is a good way to describe it.
Yeah.
But like me, you do a lot of work on Zoom as well as you have. Tell people what the collective wellness, oh, the collective community wellness is.
So what it is this environment where people feel safe to connect, like mind, body, soul, and spirit. There is fitness and movement that happens in the space, as well as I offer my energetic services, and we do events too.
That is very, very cool. I love that you threw in that we do events too,
Mhm.
because we're going to get to that one, aren't we? Or is that another time? Um,
Hmm.
how did we meet? When was the first time how did we meet?
How did we meet? That is, I think, like a cool story because I was taking my Akashic Records training with our good friend Alana Scott King,
That's right.
and she I needed someone to practice on, so she brought you online with
So
me.
let's make this clear. She needed a guinea pig. So
Yeah.
who did she reach out to? Her friend Kevin.
And you were the guinea pig, the very willing guinea pig. And I thank you for that.
I'll never forget it because I remember vividly you coming onto the screen because it was done on Zoom, and I was like, I know this person, and I know this person really well. Now it's fair we've never met in
We
person,
have never met. No.
but it was instant. I was like, we've lived many lives before, and it's funny because we have done sessions together, quite a few sessions together since we first met, and I think every time we bring up, oh, did you know we had this in common, and we had this life in common, and that life, and just today she was like, did you know we had we were in university together in a different life? And I was like, really? Oh. And then they showed it to me and I was like, yeah, okay. Yeah, we did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is hilarious. It's
It
funny
is so
how
cool.
everything that had to happen for you and I to meet, it's the universe. It's the only way um, you can ever explain it. Which is cool. And I'm glad we did because it's been a cool connection. It's been what, over a year?
Yeah. Yeah. We've known each other just a little over a year now. Yeah.
That's yeah, very cool. Now, um, I'm going to take you way back because this show, and I always tell people, if by telling your story, your journey story, and one person that listens goes, "Oh, that happened to me. I'm not crazy," or they associate something and they connect with you, then this show is the whole hour of this show is well worth it because that's what the idea of this show is. I want to normalize, and you've heard me say this many times in our sessions, normalize spirituality because spirituality is becoming more and more mainstream than it has ever been before, and it's because people like yourself that are coming into their own and really showing people anybody can do what we do.
Hmm. Yeah.
You can learn it. You learned it. I
Yeah.
learned it. If I can learn it at 55 years old, anybody can learn it. So let's take you back. When was it that you realized that there was stuff out there other than what the human eye could see? Oh, that was a nice way to put it.
Mhm. I want to say that I've always kind of like had faith. Um, but the whoa moment, I guess, was about like 2019-ish, around in there. So a few years back, where I was actually in like a group session, like a group kind of meeting. I had no idea what I was getting into. I just kind of like was pulled to just like go do this and try this, and I had no idea. And I can remember just like being in this group of people and a lady just expressing emotion. And I could literally like feel it and just like see it come towards me and just like enter me. And I just like and it moved through me, and I just like emotionally like wept and processed these feelings, and then I just watched it like just like felt it exit my body and go somewhere else in the room. And once it happened that one time, then it, as we moved through the room, it just kind of kept happening and happening, and it made me go, oh, this is interesting. I
There's
need
some,
to
there's
explore.
something here.
There's something here. Yeah.
So as a kid, I'm going to take you even farther back. You didn't
Yeah.
have any experiences that made you kind of go, huh?
Um, Not to my vivid memory.
Okay.
And that comes right from my spirit guides, because like
Yeah.
I really like can't recall a moment. I could always feel though. I recognize that I could feel, and then with those conditionings, you kind of learn to turn those feelings down a little bit more. But being in a cemetery was always very overwhelming, is the word that I want to use. Like just like I did not feel good, like was very uncomfortable in that space. And there are very like specific places I can remember going to and just being like, no, this is not comfortable. There, like I can just really feel something here, but nothing that was like as a kid that I could just say, oh, this day at this time. Yeah.
Yes, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Um, even though it did happen, it's not in your vivid memory, and your
Mhm.
guides are like, it's good.
Yeah.
Um, so 2019-ish, that was only 4 years ago, 5 years ago, 4 years ago.
Yeah.
What did you, what path did you take? Like, you felt this entity, I'll call it soul,
Energy.
energy. Thank you.
Mhm.
Um, you said you were in a group session. What was the group session? What was it? Was it a
I
spiritual session or?
it was like an energetic session, like kind of like working together to move, like working together to kind of like recognize energy and to move energy through our bodies.
Oh, okay. So the
Is
purpose was what, and that's what happened.
Yeah, but I didn't know that that's what it was when I went to it. I was just like, okay, that sounds cool. I'm trying new things, so you know.
Now, what was your background before that, as far as your profession?
So actually I worked like in a very like corporate job, and I was a business and agricultural banker before I kind of went choo choo and, and
Talk,
do what I do now.
talk about a 360.
Yeah. Yeah.
So from that day in 2019, what how did you progress? Like, what was your steps? What was your next steps after realizing there's something here that I need to know more about?
I actually had a friend reach out to me just like a couple weeks after that and said, "Hey, we're going to try and do Reiki level 1 or 2. Do you want to join?" And I said, "Okay." I honestly didn't know like what Reiki was, like never even had heard about it, but I just because it was who that presented the information to me and that experience that I just had, I'm like that was just kind of like a nudge to explore that further. So then I took my Reiki level 1 and 2, and it just kind of progressed from there.
No, so you had spiritual, I'm going to use the word spiritual leanings prior to this then.
Yes. So I want to say how kind of like I got to like that point is I actually woke up one morning in my corporate job and was like, I can't do this. I can't open that computer. I can't read these emails. I can't do these phone calls. And I was just like, I can't do this. And what I like said on the weekend, or I was just kind of like sharing my story with a few people too. And it was just like, it's not like I just wham, like hit a wall and it was just like this, oh my goodness. There were things that were leading up to that
Yeah.
that I were not listening to. So just to be clear on that, like there was lots of kind of warning. from the universe, and I did not listen at all. Like I
Go
took the
figure.
blinders off, right? Like we all know the blinders, right? And then I hit that wall, and then it was just like when I let myself feel, I just realized that like I just had just like numbed everything for just so long. And so I decided that I just needed to change something. Really is what it was just to like to change something because I know how I felt and I didn't want to feel like that anymore. So then I just decided, okay, I'm going to change like one little thing. So I just kind of like listened to whatever the universe kind of threw my way, whether it was like a book or like a TED talk, or it was the feeling that to just go for a run or the feeling to journal. I just kind of like followed all those nudges and just started being actually more physical in like running more, exercising more. And that took me to yoga. And once I kind of started doing yoga, like yoga just brings more awareness to that body connection, right? So
Okay.
then I just started to listen to my body. And then I kind of brought in awareness to the chakras. And then I just kind of like just slowly just started to just listen more and more to my body, which like took you more inward and you start listening to yourself. And that basically because I just was like, I need to go to that group thing. I went to that group thing, and then that's how it all happened.
That is so amazing. I love it when I hear a story like that because you weren't a child. You were a functioning adult
Hmm. Yep.
with a career, married with children at this point.
Yep.
So yeah,
Absolutely.
you weren't. This was didn't happen um, in your younger years. This happened midlife crisis
Yeah.
almost. People
Yeah.
will
Mid
say,
30s. Yeah. Mid
yeah.
30s. Yeah.
It was funny. I remember being, I think I was 45. No, I was probably younger. And I went to the doctor for something, and they said, "Yeah, when you get to midlife," and I'm like, "Midlife? What the heck?" They're like, "It was 45." And they go, "Yeah, you plan to live to 90?" And I was like, "Oh, jerk." But um, where was I going with that? Oh, you must have had some people kind of looking at you from this, kind of giving you a side look, going, "What's happened to Lynette?"
Honestly, I feel like they're there and they still are there, but I just recognize so deeply within myself that I needed to just lighten my soul back up. And so I just like once I started listening, then I put like those blinders on and be like, I am only going to listen to what like fuels me from the very core of my being. And I am just going to learn how to kind of deal with, I guess, everybody else because I knew that this needed to be what propelled me forward. And so I have kind of learned to that, like, even if they're there, it's like muffled, it's quiet. I'm not even hearing them.
Very good. I love to hear that because so many of my clients are like, "Oh my god, my spouse, they think I'm gone off the deep end and I'm losing my mind." And I'm like, I'm very lucky because I have Ellison, who we took all these courses all together, so it was way easier for me. I'm going to jump over to the comments because we have people commenting. People are watching, you know. So we have Shelly saying hi and Morgan Silas Donnelly. I don't know what those are. He puts up some kind of emojis because that's what how Morgan talks is by emojis. Jilly Bean. I'm reading that right. I had to read it twice. Hello from Coronation. I
Yep,
bet you know each other.
we do. Yep.
How many
I
people?
was just speaking at an event at her house on Saturday for Women Talk.
Nice. You didn't tell me
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice. How many people live in Coronation?
We're around 1,000. I think
Oh, that
just above
big.
1,000. Yep.
For some reason, I thought you were going to say hundreds. Mark Leenders says hi from Fort Saskatchewan. And then Morgan actually has a question, and it's a good one. Do you work with animals at all?
Oh, me and animals. I'm just taking this from my guides and not yet. I am still kind of honestly healing around animals and healing my relationship with animals. So people are my jam. I love working with people. And it's so funny because like oftentimes people are like, oh, I don't want to work with people. I just want to do animals. And I'm all about people. And I kind of keep animals over here.
It's
And that
something
is
it's something she's working through, and in the future that I can see it really being something big within her business. I think we've talked about this, have we not, in sessions? I'm not
I
going to
don't
bring.
maybe like telepathically, but
I
no.
remember. I remember talking about this, so you probably weren't listening again. I'm just saying.
Okay. What? Me not listen? Just talk? What?
Lynette's one of the only people we'll be doing a session, and I'll literally see her go someplace, and she'll be like this. I'll be talking away, and then all of a sudden I'll look at her, and she'll be, and I'll be, "Are you there? Hello."
And the thing is like when we kind of like worked, so like if I'm like, okay, I need to talk to Kevin and have a session with Kevin, the problem is then I kick in too, and we like you kind of go together. And so it's just like whew, you never know where it's gonna go because it's like I channel the channel.
We've had some really bizarre sessions. The last session we had, I'm not gonna lie, it took me a
Mhm.
while to get over that one because it was. I'm not gonna go into detail because their sessions are confidential, but we dealt with some heavy shit in that one.
Yeah,
It was something. It was something.
yeah. It's fun.
Jilly Bean. I love that name, Jilly Bean. I'm just gonna say it all night. Jilly Bean says, "Aw, Lynette, I love you. Your
Mhm.
story gives me goosebumps." And you know what? Gosh, ooh, I got goosebumps. That's why I love this show. Because it is the stories, and we need to tell our stories more often. We as practitioners don't tell our stories enough. So I love when someone hears it and gets goosebumps because it's connecting, and that's what it's all about. Wow, we got a lot of people tuning in, chiming in. So I'm just going to continue. Hello from Castor. That must be
Yes.
close to Coronation.
Yeah, it's just west on the highway.
One of Lynette's cheerleaders. You have
Yeah,
cheerleaders.
I do. And that goes both ways too.
Do they have pom poms?
They're just like imaginary.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
And then you have El Rose saying, "Hey, the collective of community wellness, Lynette." And then we got Jackie tuning in from Veteran.
That's my hometown.
Where's that? Is that in Alberta?
Yeah, that's just the other on the east side of Coronation. And so that is where I grew up and went to school for the first
Population 12.
like 200.
Oh, okay. I was close.
Yeah. It felt like 12 sometimes, I feel like.
That's awesome. Um, so you had the experience in that group session. Um, you kind of knew where you were headed. I'm taking that you knew where you were heading at that point, or did you?
At which point, sorry.
After your group session and the experience with the moving of energy.
Um, I want to say no, like it wasn't
Yeah.
like super clear, but it was just that confidence to just like kind of like the confidence like building the faith in that oh there's like something here and I want to know more. I want to explore that. I want to follow that curiosity because that curiosity I feel like has really been like that polar for like quite a while. And like that like the really like gut knowing of what my true path was didn't come until probably a few years later. Yeah.
Now you took Reiki 1 and 2. You said with some friends.
Yeah.
Did you take 3 and 4 as well?
I did, yeah. So I took 1 and 2, and that really was like it allowed me to just really like deepen the listening and just really let go of some crap that I had been like carrying around and just really work on myself. And just really like basically build a relationship with myself and love for
Nice.
myself.
Oh, I love that. Ooh, I
Yeah.
love that word, love for myself. Something we don't do enough. So 1 and 2, how long before you took 2 and 3?
3
Or
in
sorry, 3 and 4.
masters. That's okay.
Yeah.
3 in masters, and that was about a year after, little
Oh,
over a
okay. Well,
year
quite a
after.
while.
Yeah, and like literally days before the world shut down because of the
COVID.
pandemic.
Oh, you're kidding. Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
I just had come like, I want to take this, I want to start working on people. And then the universe was like, nope, you're not ready.
So
It's not time.
when did you open the collective then? When did you transition from being the boring banker? Sorry. I say that with a smile and all the love because Allison's whole family is bankers. I love you all, but you're boring. Uh,
I don't think I was ever a boring baker.
neither are they. Uh, when did you transition out of that?
Um, there was like a little bit of a phase in this where I like made a conscious choice to leave and just be really and just be for a while. And then I and it was because of the pandemic then that I opened the collective of community wellness. Kind of after I had kind of like was inward for a bit and really in a bit of a cocoon. And then I'm like, okay, it's time for me to like take the next step. And yeah, then this space basically was born from the need to have the right space to do fitness in during the pandemic.
It's literally amazing to me as I talk to more and more people and hear their stories to hear how the pandemic changed everything for them. I mean, you know my story. It changed
Yeah.
everything for me because it was during the pandemic. I took that one. Nope, that one. Nope, that one there. There. Right there. That one. Um, my first channeling course was July 12th in 2020. So right in the heart of the pandemic. So you decided, let's everything shut down. So let's open a business
Yeah.
in the middle of the pandemic. Sounds logical to me. It really does. But it's worked.
Um, and this was like honestly like a really true test of some of the growth and the healing that I had been doing. Because I come from a very like independent background, like being taught to be very independent. And it took a lot for me to let go of the feelings that I had to do everything by myself and I couldn't ask for help.
Yes.
So when I kind of shed that, the universe gave me help in presenting a space to me and presenting a space to me that was if you get shut down by regulatory reasons, like you don't have to pay us rent. And like that was a huge
That's
gift.
huge. That's
And
huge.
I don't think that I say it enough to them how appreciative and grateful I am for that gift because it
Yeah.
really was truly a gift that propelled me in a completely different direction. Because honestly, I wouldn't have started it, I wouldn't have opened it, I wouldn't have put the blood, sweat, and tears into that space if they wouldn't have made that kind of an agreement with me. So I was able to create a space and have fitness in it for a month and a half. And then the government shut down fitness. And so then I went, now what? And that's when the universe went, practice Reiki on people.
Yeah.
Because I was able to do that. So I did that. I started doing that.
Nice. And that leads us right into a question that Morgan's asking is how heavy into Reiki did you get so far? And I love the way he phrases his questions. You know he's channeling. So when he says so far,
Mhm.
um, so how big of a part of your business is Reiki?
It's like a fundamental pillar
Yes.
because I'm an energetic healer. Like channeler and energetic healer are the two kind of titles I always like put on myself, put on my
Yes.
business card, like when I put myself out there. Because it in Reiki just is like it continually evolves, right? I learned the fundamental tools, but as I grow and I like practice on more people and I meet new people such as yourself and others and learn new things, it just continues to open up those abilities and expand those abilities like further and further and further beyond anything that I would have ever imagined.
And it's funny because as you're talking, I was like, talk about people whose lives have changed. Here's someone who was very in the corporate world and doing really well in the corporate world and decided I chose the wrong path.
Yeah.
I need to get back on the path. And when I do a session, I can actually see people's path and they show me. And Lynette was not just off her path. She had gone over a cliff, down a ravine, through a stream and into the ocean. Like that's how far off a path she was.
Yeah.
So it took you a lot to get back on that path, which to me is just amazing because you think about it. 6 years ago, would you and I be sitting in my office, your kitchen? I think that's your kitchen or your office.
This is my office, yeah.
Your office, having this discussion about spirituality. If someone would have told you that 6 years ago, you would have went, "Yeah, okay."
Like what? No way. Like, yeah, channeling wasn't even a word in my awareness. Mediumship, yeah, but
Yeah,
channeling like Reiki, didn't even know what that was 6 years ago. Yeah, energetic healing,
I remember the first time I heard the word Reiki was Ellison has always been spiritual. And I was in a car accident back in 2014, and she literally wanted me to go to this Reiki lady because nothing was helping my neck. I This lady was like the worst lady that I could have gone to. I honestly thought she was going to cut the head off a chicken and start dribbling blood on me halfway through the session. It was like way out there somewhere. It was weird. It was not cool. Uh, that was my experience with Reiki. So when I heard about it again, I was like, it's voodoo. I don't want voodoo. Get away. Now it's just normal vocabulary for us, right?
yeah. Yeah. And like that is just like pushing me to just like talk about like masks and how like you and I have talked about like nor like not to kind of like hide behind that mask of that perception of like a spiritual person or whatever, to just like literally be yourself as you like step out into the world, just to continually like normalize it. And it's not easy.
It's not because it's not, and I'm going to be blunt, and some people get really mad at me when I talk about this, but it wasn't mainstream. 10 years ago, spirituality, if you went to an expo 10 years ago, yeah, I'll say 10 years ago, maybe 15, but 10 years ago, it was the fringe of society. Like it was eccentrics. I'm just going to be blunt because I can. It's my show and I can say whatever I want. It was eccentrics. Now you go to a spiritual fair. You and I are there. Are we normal? Folks, I'm not saying I'm normal. Don't
Right.
misinterpret. And I can guarantee you, Lynette is as far from normal as you get. I just want to make sure people understand that. No, you did take channeling courses, did you not?
I did, and that is because of you, my friend. Um, but it is so funny because,
Sorry.
uh, but that is the push that I needed when I started practicing Reiki on people. Um, I I started to like see things, and not see things like I see you, or like I see like this water bottle here. I just started to see things in my mind and see people and start to hear things, and then like and then feel things a little bit stronger, and I did not know like what that was. But I you could feel, you could trust it and follow that. And like in comfortable situations, talking to about what I could hear and see with those that come for a Reiki session, kind of like validated that, hey, this is like this and that's this and that's that. And I was like, okay. So as I kind of just like went along further, it was you that kind of put in my awareness that, hey, like you already channel, and like you need to like, I would say like strengthen that skill and get the tools that you really need.
Yes.
And that come through, and like the first ever session that you and I did, like that come through, and it was like a
I
light
remember
bulb
that.
went off, and it was just like, oh yeah, like I do channel. It took a few days to really like let that sink into my heart center, to be completely honest, and like sink like into my physical being. But once it did, then it was like, oh yeah. And then I like started on a path of like formal training, of becoming a channeler.
See, and
And
I'm
I'm
a
still on that path. Like over a year in, and I'm still going
oh,
down that path, strengthening those skills and
you
practice.
know what? It's been 3 years for me, and I'm still on that path as well. It's I don't think you stop that path. I think that's a continuous learning path.
Mhm.
Um, but on your point of channeling, I honestly, if I could tell people, give people a piece of advice if they're just dipping their toe into spirituality, is learn to channel first. It's the foundation, in my opinion, it's the foundation of everything. Then go and take your Reikis, go and take your Akashic records, go and take whatever else, because you're going to be able to understand what's going on way more.
Mhm.
And like Lynette was saying, when you start feeling stuff, what is that? You shouldn't be doing that. You should understand it by that time. So Lynette likes to do things backwards. Um,
Yes.
and I learned this, and it's been lifetimes that she has done things backwards. So
I'm very much, I recognize too that my journey has been backwards as to how we logically learn something.
yes,
More often, how we logically learn something is we have something that is in our awareness, we learn more about it, then we go out and we experience it. And I have been all about experiencing it, learning something, like learning about it, and then creating an understanding. So
yes,
backwards, I guess, is how
backward.
you could say it.
I couldn't imagine. I just took level one of Akashic Records. I couldn't imagine taking that without having the knowledge I did, because it would have effed me up. I probably would have quit spirituality and walked away. Um, just the person I am, because I'm very literal. So when I heard that you were taking that course, and then I was like, she doesn't know she channels. Okay, we gotta help. Okay, here we go.
So yeah,
And it
I did Reiki, Akashic Records, and then I took
channeling.
channeling. Yeah.
Yeah. And now everything makes way more sense.
Yes. And the thing that channeling really did for me is it took out the fear. I can remember having like, when I kind of like started into it, just having this fear, and like, and we might even have talked about this
We
at one
did.
point.
The very first session we talked about that.
And learning to channel gave me the tools so that I could understand what I was dealing with and feeling, so then I could let go of the fear.
Sorry, I got to correct something. Ellison texted me. She goes, 55 years old. You wish. Ellie, I was 55 when I took that first course. That was 3 years ago. I'm 58 now. Thank you very much. She's text. I could feel it. I'm like, what are you texting me? Um, I still remember that first session, and you had so much fear surrounding you about everything because you were feeling things you had no idea what they were.
Yeah.
Um, when I look back over the year now, and it's cool when I get to do this because I have lots of clients that are practitioners, and I see where they started and to where they've been, and it's only been a year. That's nothing, really. I mean, that's that in a lifetime. In this lifetime, it's only that much. In the total of reality, it's like even less. It's a fraction. And to see how far you've come is just so freaking amazing. Um, somebody's commenting about being 58. I love being 58. I'm looking forward to hitting 60 because then I get to collect CPP. Um, and I like that. Um,
I think
where,
the
go ahead.
huh. It apparently wasn't gonna say that.
So it's funny because I had a thought, and at the same time, it just went boop, brain fart. That's what my kids used to say. Brain fart. Now they're like, "You're just old, Dad." Um,
I don't consider myself old. I think sometimes it's like you just hop into like the world of spirituality and things start to like flow around so fast sometimes that it literally is in. And if you're in the present moment, it's just like in. And if you don't act, it just can go right back out again.
it's so important to act in the moment. We talk about it all the time. Be in the moment.
Yeah.
But we're going to look into the future now that I've said that. First, before we go to the future, let's talk about what you offer at the collective. Because that's what you call it. You call it the collective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The collective of community wellness. But yeah, I short it as the collective.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. What do you
so
offer?
So from a movement standpoint, I am a group. Like a fitness instructor specialist, and I'm also a B class leader. So I do the B class, which is a women's empowering fitness program that is amazing. Um, and this, I'm supposed to come around to this. This is like a huge story in regard, like a huge pivotal moment for me when I really learned to trust my intuition. Um, One of my cheerleaders from down the highway, she was a leader before I was. And I went to one of her classes, and the class, like the room is like dark, doing fitness, like in a really dimly lit environment. And the music is so loud that I can remember just like walking into that space and being like, ooh. And then, like we started like moving because it's a dance-based fitness, and 5 minutes in it was just like my soul was just like so happy, like so like, oh, this is my jam, this is where I belong. I loved it, absolutely loved it.
Nice.
And then after the class we were just kind of talking a little bit, and on the ride home it's like, you need to share that. Like, this is something that you need to share. So I went from my first ever class to like texting and being like, I want to be a leader. I want to share this with women. I want to share this with my community. And it was just like, and it was like a gut hit, like gut
Nice.
instinct all the way of just like, you need to share this. And I didn't hesitate. I just followed through with that. A few months later, I became certified and like didn't look back with that. And so it's a kind of a huge component of my offerings.
And
And
that's
it was a huge thing, just up leveled my faith in myself.
and that's an in-person class that you offer at the collective.
Yes. Yes, it
Okay,
is. Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
Well, plus you offer so much more.
Yes. I do strength training as well. And then I have another lady that comes in, and there's yoga. And that all happens in what I call like the like vibrant, energetic front space of the building. And then you go into the back and it's into the quiet space. And then that is where I offer in-person energetic healing sessions. So I also do them like virtually as well, but it's in that space where I do them in person.
Right. So people who aren't in driving distance of coordination, and I know there's people that will drive like an hour to come to see you.
Yep,
We've
I
talked
do.
about that, and there's more and more that it's happening, which is that's when you know you've built something properly. Is people will drive to see you. They'll drive the hour because it's worth it to them. But you also offer the healing online.
Yes. Yeah. And I feel like that is the one thing that also I learned from the pandemic was how connected we can actually be
Oh
this
yes.
way. Like I was a doubter, like 100% when it was less like, oh, we're going to do our energy like fitness online, like the B class, we went online. And it's just like, how am I going to feel the same feels? Am I going to have that same experience? And absolutely, like 100%, I could connect with my participants and feel them in the exact same way as I could when they were in person. And then that just propelled me to be like, okay, I can do my Reiki
Uh-huh.
over Zoom, and it's because of that it's just actually even like spiraled to new heights.
What's cool about energy healing in general is you don't even need to be on Zoom to do it. It's
Nope.
all intention. Allison has taken her Reiki, and she'll do Reiki what if I request her to do for some of my clients, and she's never met them.
Yeah.
It's all intention. So you're right. Um, One of the many things the pandemic taught us, which taught us many, many things, is you don't need to be in person to do what we do. 99.9% of my readings are all on Zoom. I have clients who want to be in person, and I was like, "Ugh, I like Zoom. I don't like people.
Mhm.
Keep your distance. Go to Zoom."
Mhm.
But it works, and it works very, very well.
Yeah.
Um, Now we're going to go to the future. What does the future hold for not only Lynette, or sorry, not only for the collective, but more so for Lynette? Where do you see you taking this business?
Um, I'm just like I'm here and I'm hearing like just like building and just like and when I say like building, just really building more people that I work with because my purpose is just to help people heal and I just want to do that for people. And so and in like in a few different ways because healing also for some people comes in a very like active healing session with me or like more of like a passive session where you just relax and I do my thing and I don't
Yeah.
talk as much. But healing also does come when we move our bodies as well. So that's not going anywhere either.
Did you just say you don't talk that much? Is that what you just said?
I do sessions where I don't hardly talk, Kevin.
I,
If you can believe
that I have to experience just to believe it because
it.
there's some clients I have a session with where I have to talk for 1 hour straight. There's other clients, Lynette, where I do a session and I say one word and then I shut up for a half hour.
That's just one of those things where I'm just like, it's like you channel the channel almost, right? So
You remember in the beginning before we went live, you said, "Oh, it's like I'm going to be being interviewed by my big brother."
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That was awesome. Um, what is the easiest way people can get in touch with you?
Um, I would say if you want, you can direct message me. I am on Instagram and Facebook at the collective CW.
There you go.
Is if you want to like talk to me directly. I also have a web page where all my information about the collective of community wellness and my services is, and you can book online with me through my webpage, and that's www.thecollectivecw.ca.
The collective. Remember the
Remember
collective.
that.
Remember the. Obviously, I didn't have the in there when
No.
we first went live. No, we didn't go live when we first started talking. So it's the collective cw.ca.
Yeah.
Are you? I'm gonna probably toss a grenade on you, so my
Okay.
apologies. But are you looking for other practitioners to partner with within the collective? I don't know why I'm asking you that, but your guides are making me, so I'm just going to put it out there.
It's actually like a good question. I would say that I'm not like actively pursuing it, but I'm like open to it because when I established the collective of community wellness, the idea was is that myself and other fitness instructors, anybody who had a service around mind, body, soul, were to use the space. And as it just kind of turned out, I, for the most part, ended up putting most of my energy into the physical, into the building and into the physical space. I have extended invitations to some like psychics, like to that they can come into the space and use it. And it that like that is like that's like still out there.
Yeah,
I've
I've
talked
never heard you say this before. That's why I was like, I'm going to toss a hand grenade at her and see what happens because your guides are saying it. So,
because I recognize that I am not everybody's person. I am not going to make that connection or not going to be that person for everybody. And so, but I still want everybody to be their best selves, like experience healing and whatever that needs to be. And so I might not be the person that spurs that in you or like brings that out in you, but if I can connect you with that person or that modality, then I want to do that.
and you know what? I think more of us, the spiritual practitioner community, need to have that kind of mindset. As you know, I'm big in passing people to other people because I have a lot of people that pass their clients on to me because of what I do is different than a lot of other people. Um, we need more of that in this community, and I'm glad you verbalized it as well as you did. Is there any final words you want to pass on before we wrap this up? It's been a fast hour.
I'm not really feeling anything. I just feel very at peace, actually.
Awesome. People, if you're in the Coronation area and you want to say hi, are you open like 5 days a week? Like, what are your hours that you're actually open for people to stop in?
You can't just like stop in.
Oh, you can't stop
I'm
in.
appointment only. And it's very important that I put that out there because I am like a mother and a wife and I have like other things. And because I'm also managing fitness classes too. So the best way to understand what my openings are is to use my online booking tool because when you click a offering, then it brings up a calendar and then you can click on a date and then if I'm available, it is there. I'm constantly managing my schedule to best reflect the balance that I need in my life. And that is the best tool to know when I'm available.
And she actually does that. If you go to my Facebook page and you click on the book now, yeah, 90% of the times that I have available aren't really available, but I work with people once they click. So
That's me when I book just an hour ahead of time.
she's done it, folks. She's done it. She's one of those people.
I'm like, I
Anyway,
want to talk to Kevin.
Lynette, thank you so much for coming on. We had quite the audience today, which is always exciting when I see people are interested. Um, Again, get a hold of Lynette at the Collective of Community Wellness in Coronation, Alberta. If you want to get a hold of me, you can see the logo above Lynette's head, the Kevali Channeling. Go to Facebook. I'm on there. If you're a practitioner and you're looking to do an expo in the spring, Alana Scott King, who we chatted about there for a little bit, and I are teaming up, and we are doing the spring. What is it called? The Spring Spirit Fair (YYC) April 6th of 2024. We're accepting applications. And the reason it sounds so corny when I say we're accepting applications, we're doing that because we're keeping it 100% spiritual. There won't be any MLMs. There won't be any food services. It'll strictly be practitioners and people offering spiritual product, I'll say, for lack of a better word. So if you want more information on that, you can private message me either at Kevali Channeling or at my Kevin Hughes Facebook page, or you can go to Spirit Fairs, plural, with an S, YYC on Facebook and message us there as well. Until next week, where we have my other good friend, Julia Bousfield, joining us if she's back from holidays. And she has a great story to tell. And I'm really looking forward to hearing what she's been up to, because I call her the spiritual scientist, because she's always putting something together, some kind of oils or teas, all kinds of fun stuff. So that'll be next week. Until then, take care and have a safe week. And remember, if you're feeling some weird energy, it's just the full moon, folks. Don't freak out. Know how